take a close look at the things that matter to you most. If faith guide your steps, think about what you're saying, and then not with an accusation, but to see, is what I'm saying lining up with what I'm doing? The way I'm living is that the way I'm talking to people about living?
So tell me, what's an example of a time where slowing down allowed or revealed something to you that proved that point?
Oh, yeah, if you've ever been to the beach, sometimes it's hard to change gears from the go, go, go in the marketplace and all the demands that all the people you love have on you. And then you go to the beach and you walk and you start noticing some shells. And then you might find one of those sand dollars, one of those shells, but it's got a little imperfection in it. So you need to slow down a little more. See, can I find a sand dollar that actually doesn't have a chunk of it missing? And there's something really beautiful. A friend, Al Andrews, years ago, we did a gathering together, and we gave everybody magnifying glasses. And we said, just look closely at something. So these are people that entertain a lot of people and are up in front oftentimes. And we just said, just look closely, and you can burn ants with it if you want to. I don't know. You'll need to trust that there's not a thing called karma. But what if we look closely at things? Take a close look at the things that matter to you most. If faith guide your steps, think about what you're saying, and then not with an accusation, but to see, is what I'm saying lining up with what I'm doing? The way I'm living is that the way I'm talking to people about living? And again, you don't need to hit yourself. We're not piñatas. When we hit ourselves, it's not candy that comes out of us. It's other stuff. So then go to your family and to say that, and then say, what was your ambition when it came to what you did in the marketplace? That you really wanted to make the change in people's lives, which is really noble. But then along the way, it just kind of got confusing and things changed. And so don't be hard on yourself, but just say, hey, listen, I'm going to make a couple changes because I need to do that in my life. That would be whimsy.
Yeah, I love that. And you asked us a series of questions, and we had to, over a couple of days, dig a little deeper into ourselves because sometimes there's some resistance where we don't want to reveal. Well, I won't project on someone else. I say, well, I don't want to reveal to myself some of those truths about where I'm holding myself back. You asked us questions like, when was the last time I laughed just the hardest? And,
Yeah.
and go back to that moment and think about that. So I think,
Remember. Yeah.
yes, remember. And then when did I most feel like me? And I was digging deep and finding that. And when did I feel super authentic to myself? And when did I feel like I might have lost my whimsy? What might have, what block might have put up there? And in my case, I'd say that it, sometimes that was when I was embarrassed in front of people or when I made mistakes.
Yeah.
And then I put up blocks. I'm like, well, that's never going to happen again. I'm never going to do that thing that makes me feel embarrassed.
Yes.
And the result of that to me was, well, I'm never going to put myself out there.
Yes, so you make a rule because you're hurt, and then you make a rule. I don't want to feel that again. And that rule is actually helpful. It's so scaffolding for your wounded heart. But after a while, it kind of starts imprisoning you. This rule, the scaffolding is not helpful anymore.
Yeah, isn't that funny how that rule was there with the intent to protect me, and it might have done so in some way, but it also might have hurt me.
Yeah.
And so remembering and digging back in there.
You make a new rule to say, I'm not going to do that. Or you could say, what they're generally looking for is courageous people. They don't need to be courageous like, fighting dragons if there's such a thing, but to say that they're encountering difficult situations with some resolve. It doesn't even need to be hopeful. It's just some resolve that I'm doing this. If you surround yourself by just insecure people that kind of have a pack mentality and say mean things, then you'll live in fear because you might be the next object of the conversation at the mean girls table or the mean boys table. And so what I try to do is air gap some of that crazy. I'm just not going to be around the gatherings of people that speak ill of other people because down deep, every person at that table knows they might be the next one. Everybody's I've spent a lot of time in Africa, and hyenas are not courageous. They run in packs. And so what they'll do is encircle something that's maybe stronger than individually, but weaker than them collectively. And so that pack kind of scolding, that pack public shaming, pack, it can cause us to not be ourselves anymore because you don't want to get the pack and you're not sure who's in the pack. But you know, you do not want to be dinner for them. So you make a rule to say, hey, I'm peacing out. I'm not going to be on social media anymore. I'm not going to be, and then we all lose because you really had something beautiful to contribute. And so rather than raising up an army to defeat the packs of unknown people, what I'm not going to do that. So I'm not going to lead a palace revolt, but I'm also not going to peace out. What I'm going to find are safe people. I'm going to find voices I can trust, and I will recommit myself to being a safe person, to not naming somebody and say, this is an example of a bad guy, or watch out for this person, or I just want to, and this is again, Paul, writing to some of his friends. And he said, as much as it's within your power to do so, live at peace with everyone. And that isn't apathy, that's strategy.